villagers. A now familiar mob that was added into Minecraft way back in beta of 1.9 2011. It wasn't until a whole year after villagers were released into the game that they had the ability to trade. Now here we are, over 7 years later, with the Village and Pillage update giving a complete revamp to our favourite friendly traders. So, is there much to know about villagers and trading? Well, yes. I'm sure you can already tell by the length of this video that this episode is an absolute doozy. In fact, by far the biggest episode of the series yet, and most likely ever. So yeah, we kinda have a really special occasion on our hands here. No mob in this game has anywhere near this amount of juicy, fascinating goodness to dissect and project, and hey, that rhymed. So lean back, get comfy, get snacks, get in the zone. Everything you need to know about villagers and trading is all here in one comprehensive video. Ladies and gentlemen, let us begin. Villagers are passive mobs, meaning they will of course not attack even if provoked. They have 10 hearts of health and do not drop anything upon death, including experience, nor any food items that they were holding in their inventory at the time. Villagers spawn in villages, where they will choose to permanently stay. These villages will randomly spawn within plains, desert, snowy tundra, taiga, and savanna biomes. Villagers will represent themselves aesthetically in relation to whichever biome they've spawned in. For example, snow-based villages wear bluey cyan clothing, whereas villagers found in the savannah can be found wearing red clothing. Being that we can currently find 5 different types of biome-based villagers, we'd typically see 5 different styles of villagers. However, that's not true. There are actually 7 different clothing-styled villagers. Jungle villagers and swamp villagers also very much exist, both of course with their own unique clothing styles. Until jungle and swamp villagers possibly one day enter Minecraft, to see a jungle or swamp villager, you'll either have to spawn one in creative mode in their respective biome with a spawn egg, breed one within the respective biome, curing a zombie villager within the respective biome, or in the very rare case, find a village that overlaps a jungle or swamp biome. Villagers can also be found beneath igloos, trapped behind iron bars inside basements, of which half of igloos conceal beneath their carpet. In the cell next to the villager, a zombie villager can be found, and like all zombie villagers, can be cured with a splash potion of weakness, followed by giving them a golden apple, both of which can actually be found in an igloo's basement. A zombie villager being cured will begin shaking momentarily, emitting a red particle effect as the cure starts to work its magic. Within approximately 2 to 5 minutes, they'll change into a villager, outfitted accordingly to its respective biome. Zombie villagers also spawn with their respective clothing from their biome. There are currently 15 different types of villagers, with 13 different types of employed professions up for their grabs. A villager with a profession active offers the ability to trade with players. However, despite being occasionally avoided, trading is actually a great opportunity to make emeralds and not lose them. So when the time does come and you seek an item quickly and wish not to go through the effort of gathering all the components to make whatever it is you're after, you'll have the flexibility to drop thick stacks of emeralds to swiftly acquire your target's item or items, or not to mention rare items of high value that can only be found by very few other methods. Villagers are quite an opportunity. And the beauty of it all, it's really simple and rather fun, accomplishing, and super rewarding if done right. So listen closely as we're about to dive straight into the world of Minecraft's grand trading system. The trading system is a significantly large and substantial gameplay mechanic, allowing players to buy or sell items to and from villages using emeralds as a form of currency with every trade offer. Only employed adult villagers are able to be traded with and will make unique offers based on their chosen profession. professions can be obtained by an unemployed adult villager, distinguished by not having any job-related gear equipped. If you try trading with one, they'll just shake their head. Unemployed villagers will actively seek out for a job site block that hasn't been claimed by another villager. When these unemployed villagers locate an unclaimed job site block, they'll essentially recruit themselves instantly, which will change their appearance slightly to match their new profession. Trading with a villager will not only reward you with a handy bit of experience, but will also provide them with experience too. If they gain enough experience from trading with you, they'll eventually level up. Each employed profession has 5 levels, ranking from novice to apprentice to journeyman to expert and finally to master, with each tier offering an additional set of new items to trade with, typically getting much better as they receive more and more service from you. Whether it's buying from or selling to a villager, each offer will be disabled after a select, varied amount of repeated trades of that same offer. Whether interacting with a trading villager or not, their offers and stock will be refreshed and resupplied after they've spent some time working at their job site block for a short while. They will do this no more than twice per day. On Bedrock Edition, the price of an item may fall or rise depending on if that deal is receiving any business from you. This occurs on the villager's next resupply. Some job site blocks can naturally generate within a village. Ones that do can spawn within their respectful structure. However, this often isn't the case. So if you're after trading with a villager of every profession, you will have to craft their respective job site blocks, place them within the village, and ensure an unemployed villager can find it in order to gain access to their trade deals. These job site blocks can be below, above, or even out of sight of a villager, and they'll still recruit themselves and work there given it's within 8 blocks in diameter. That being said, I'd recommend best placing them in a solid, accessible space to prevent from any unforeseen bugs or mishaps occurring. With those basics now covered, it's time to get a little more in depth about what exactly we're dealing with here, and the secret on how to manipulate this trading system that, I promise, can change the entire way you play Minecraft. Now, most players can be immediately turned off by the prices villagers can charge. I too was once not long ago exactly the same. Take a major note here, the prices villagers charge are not balanced around having a standard supply of everything. They're simply just not, as I'm sure most of us already know. But do know there is a very good reason why that is, and given trading's current reputation, it still seems like it's not quite common knowledge just yet. Not at all am I willing to keep that a secret, as my purpose here, as it always has been, is to help others, so I'm going to sum it up in just 2 words for you. Mass production. The true value of an offer is not its price, it's the quantity of stock you're able to buy it for, as far as Minecraft economy goes anyway. And a huge part of Minecraft has always been its reproduction methods, or to put it simply, farming. So identifying a good deal from a village trader gives you the opportunity to raise ambitious manufacturing facilities based on whatever it is you've chosen to mass produce, but on a larger scale than what we've been used to thus far in the game. So if hundreds upon hundreds of emeralds sound tasty to your ears, so you can almost carelessly spend them quickly to purchase rare and super handy items, then listen closely. Constructing these large-scale facilities requires the investment of your time and patience. So before you start construction, potentially of multiple projects, best the research is done before and not after. And right now, together we'll be looking at the types of merchants and their deals that will determine which mass production facility you choose to raise. Let's start simple. The Armorer. Their job site block is the Blast Furnace. They'll start off selling iron armor, eventually starting to sell bells and chainmail armor, then shields, then enchanted diamond armor. If you have a solid supply of coal, iron ingots, and lava buckets, then the Armorer provides a great opportunity to quickly hoard an easy stash of emeralds to trade with. Next, we have the Weaponsmith. Their job site block is a grindstone. They'll start off selling iron axes and enchanted iron swords, then also selling bells and eventually enchanted diamond swords and axes. If you've stacked a comfortable supply of coal, iron ingots, or flint, weaponsmiths provide an okay opportunity to get hold of some emeralds. Then there's the Toolsmith. Their job site block is a smithing table. These guys start off charging some nasty prices for stone tools and even enchanted iron tools, but begin to balance out a little when selling bells, diamond hoes, and even enchanted diamond tools including diamond axe. Like the previous traders, Toolsmiths too purchase coal, iron ingots, and flint for emeralds at okay prices. Keep in mind though bells are fairly expensive, you cannot craft them. Up next, we have Fletchers. Their job site block is called the Fletching Table. Fletchers start off selling arrows and flint, soon selling bows and crossbows, eventually selling enchanted bows and crossbows, as well as all types of tipped arrows. A delicious amount of emeralds can be made from Fletchers by selling them sticks, flint, string, and feathers. Just make sure you have a delicious amount of those items too, and profit will be worthwhile. The Cartographer. Their job site block is the cartography table. Surprise, right? They sell empty maps and item frames for way too much, but sell ocean and woodland explorer maps which are super handy for finding rare structures containing highly valuable loot. This could be well worth the investment of emeralds here. They also sell blank banners and exclusive banner patterns if that's your sort of thing. Cartographers are also another great source of easy emeralds, buying paper, glass panes, and compasses. These fellas are a significantly great trader to constantly check up on their refreshing offers to squeeze easy emeralds out of, so take a mental note here on this one. Butchers. Their job site block is the Smoker. They ironically don't sell all too much, starting out selling rabbit stews from novice level, moving on to cooked meat such as chicken and pork chop. But oh my god, if you got emeralds on your mind, these are the type of villagers you want hanging around. As if you have a decent sized animal farm with mobs like chickens, rabbits, pigs, cows or sheep, or a possible kelp or sweetberry farm, you will be swimming in emeralds in no time when selling your stock to the butcher. Not to mention, some of these farms can supply stock that other traders want too. We then have the Nitwit. Ever heard of the term village idiot? Well, Jeb officially said it himself, that was the inspiration for this poor guy. They can be identified wearing a pale green robe. They'll never trade with a player. They'll wander outside at night later than other villagers. They'll sleep in longer than other villagers. They'll never even decide to acquire a profession, but they don't mind breeding. Questionable priorities, but just know that nitwits can be the result of a cured zombie villager, meaning baby nitwits are possible too, even from further breeding. Maybe they're just better off as zombies. Leatherworker. Their job site block is a cauldron. These folks obviously sell leather armor, but also sell horse saddles, all for more emeralds than it's sort of worth. If you're looking to make a good amount of emeralds off a leatherworker, you'll be looking at selling them leather, flint, and rabbit hide. Next up, we have the Cleric. Their job site block is the brewing stand. These traders sell some handy stuff, but the early offer prices are a little questionable. Bottles of enchanting, which of course cannot be crafted, provide amazing potential for leveling if you are able to successfully mass collect emeralds. If you're looking to make some solid emeralds from clerics, I'd recommend mass farming and selling nether warts and glass bottles. And if you've always been one for throwing away your rotten flesh, hold on to it, as clerics are happy to buy it off you for emeralds. Farmers. Their job site block is a composter. These villagers sell a variety of foods, most notably pumpkin pie, suspicious stew, golden carrots, glistening melon slices, and even cake, which in particular is very cheap. All really solid food items actually. However, farmers are yet another fantastic source of emeralds, buying wheat, potatoes, carrots, melons, pumpkins, and beetroot, which if you have a large enough farm for, you could really capitalize on this very profitable opportunity. Do keep in mind it's essential for a composter to be placed near crop farms so the farmer can harvest all its local crops. The stonemason, or if you're on Java Edition, just called the mason. This trader's job site block is the stonecutter. Selling a small variety of bricks and blocks, there isn't too much interesting on offer here outside of glazed terracotta and quartz blocks if that's your sort of thing. The value from this trader is of course what they wish to buy from you, stone being one of them. Yes, you heard it, stone. Not to mention granite, diorite, andesite, and nether quartz if you don't fancy keeping those. The fisherman. This village's job site block is the barrel. These folks sell buckets of cod, campfires, enchanted fishing rods, and cooked fish, obviously. So nothing really too worthwhile here, and as far as making emeralds from them time efficiently, you're only really looking at selling coal, oak boats, and maybe even string as a decent trade here. Librarians. Their job site block is the lectern. They'll sell a range of enchanted books, bookshelves, clocks, compasses, and glass for way too much. They also sell name tags which cannot be crafted, but they're fairly pricey. You can actually make a very decent amount of emeralds quite easily from librarians selling books and paper. These two items could see you make quite an income of emeralds, maybe ink sacks if you feel you can farm them efficiently. It's quite important librarians have access to bookshelves local to their lectern in order for them to work efficiently. Lastly, but definitely not least, there are shepherds. Their job site block is a loom. They sell a variety of different coloured wool, carpets, beds and banners, as well as shears and paintings. But oh boy, if you're looking to make emeralds, shepherds are your go-to villager. They wish to purchase from you all types of dyes, which is okay if you're willing to travel to different biomes to use it to grow different flowers to extract their dyes, but if you're interested in making a fortune, invest some time into building a large sustainable sheep farm consisting of white, grey, brown and black sheep and shear their wool routinely, then you could be looking at a serious income of emeralds from shepherds as they buy all 4 wool colours. So if you were a little unfamiliar with all the merchants, then hopefully that segment helped clear the clouds a little for you. Now, it's time for the next chapter on expanding our understanding on the important little quirks of trading and how your popularity affects it. The items that these villagers buy and sell, including the order in which they buy and sell them, as well as the amount of trades before those offers become unavailable, do indeed differ a little bit between the different versions of Minecraft, but nothing too drastically. Certain offers will earn the trading villager more experience than others. These amounts do differ a lot, but typically the trades made in their later level tiers will give them more experience to suppress you from leveling them up through early trades alone. It's important to note that 2 different villagers of the same profession may very well offer different offers in a different order as they level up and at master level 2. So if you're willing to invest the time, having 2 or 3 traders of the same profession will be significantly beneficial for a specialized mass production facility, so you always have a wide range of offers and able to bulk sell larger stacks of items at a time before they resupply. When villagers level up, you'll see a green sparkle glisten around them momentarily. When this happens, they'll also receive their respective new badge. Each villager's badge is located just below their waist, representing their trade tier, and there are 5 types of badges for each tier of merchant. Stone represents novice, iron represents apprentice, gold represents journeyman, emerald represents expert, and diamond represents master. These badges simply help you identify the villager's trade tiers while on the move without having to talk to them. Now, villagers understand the value in cutting a good deal for a loyal customer, not only for themselves, but for the economy of the village. So if you start earning a good word for yourself around town, your popularity will start to grow. The higher your popularity, the better deals you'll see the village merchants offer. If you're interested in gaining popularity, completing a trade for the last offer on a merchant's list will see you rewarded with a small amount. Keep in mind, this can be repeated. Leveling up a villager will also rise your popularity, typically more from which tier they level up to. Defending a village successfully from the last wave of a raid, granting you the Hero of a Village status effect, will significantly instantly boost your popularity. Not to mention, while this status effect is active, you'll receive further discounted prices on all trade offers from that village. As a side note, on Java Edition, when you become a hero of the village, villagers will throw gifts at your feet, all associated with their professions. Guess it pays to be popular. As you can probably guess, for every time you attack a villager, you'll lose a little popularity, with killing them depleting even more popularity. Lose enough popularity with a village and their iron golems will become hostile towards you. So careful not to make the same mistake as I did and go around the village executing nitwits on sight. I'm not normally this evil, I promise. Not as evil as attacking, let alone killing a child villager, which will significantly skyrocket your popularity downward. Killing a villager's iron golem too is a big popularity crime. However, in regards to popularity, there's some good news and then there's some bad news. Which would you prefer first? Of course, it's going to be the bad news. Well, your popularity gained is only remembered by the village you gained it from, meaning if you travel to distant villages, you'll have to start again with growing a good rep. This could become quite the task, so if that bothers you a bit, my advice is stick to focusing on seeing one village thrive with yourself alongside it as some town mayor prodigy type thing. But I'm guessing you want the good news now. Well, if you die, your popularity will not reset. I guess this could also be bad news too if you slaughtered villagers from another village and was kinda hoping for a fresh start. Yeah, not gonna happen. When holding an item near villagers who wants what you're holding, that villager will hold up something that they're willing to offer in exchange. This is a neat little effective way of easily finding the right trader for your needs and fast, especially if you have plenty of nearby traders. Curing a zombie villager that's become a merchant will cause them to offer you a discount, so they should. We straight up brought them back from the dead. You'll notice in some higher level traders, they'll offer an emerald for a diamond. I'll just let you be the judge of that one. So that is the entirety of the trading system, hopefully summed up enough for you. Now we can move on to learning villagers' behaviours, threats, and how you can see your village thrive, growing in size and number. If a villager finds themselves beyond the reaches of a nearby village, they will soon return back to the safer confines of the village. If they find themselves too far away from the village for them to see it, they'll just wander around but will never despawn. Though able to open all types of wooden doors, they're not able to open trapdoors, fence gates, or iron doors, but are able to climb up ladders, most commonly seen being chased by a threat. When wandering around the village, they'll often substitute doing so to socialize with other villagers. Depending on a villager's employment status, they will follow their own unique daily schedules. Employed villagers will wake up early around dawn and wander for a short while before heading off to work. In the afternoon, they'll gather for a village meeting around the town's bell, where they'll find unemployed villagers doing the same. In the late evening, they'll wander some more before heading off to sleep around sunset. Unemployed villagers wander for most of the day and also gather at the town meeting before wandering a little more before going to sleep. Baby villagers wander, play, wander some more, then play some more, all before heading off to bed. Nitwits, as we've previously touched on earlier, wonder almost as much as they sleep, also completely ignoring gathering at town meetings. What a life. Since baby villagers are no doubt a thing, villagers are indeed able to breed. Like certain other mobs, however, they too require specific conditions in order to welcome a newborn into your world. A good place to begin understanding how this all works are beds, which have a chance to naturally spawn within village houses. Each villager will end up claiming their own bed, which they'll return to at night to sleep in. Sometimes, by default, a village may not spawn with enough beds for its current amount of villagers to sleep in, meaning they'll end up wandering around inside houses at night, most likely going insane. So if you desire the opportunity to see a village grow in population, begin by placing more beds than the total population of the village. Every so often, villagers will actually conduct a survey of the total population. If they find they have more beds than bodies, that is the first step for them to become what's called willing. This means they're ready to find a lover and give birth to a baby villager, even if it does mean doing so in public. When extra beds are present, villagers will only become fully willing given they have 3 bread or 12 carrots, beetroot or potatoes within their own personal inventory, which can only hold said items and their respective seeds. How may this happen? Well, farmers will often have excess amounts of food on them from when harvesting at their job, and will occasionally throw food at other villagers for them to pick up. You can also directly speed up and encourage this willing process by simply giving a villager the food yourself. This is also a cheeky little way to get villagers out of bed on demand without destroying their bed or smacking them. Just note, once villagers make a baby, they won't become willing for a short while, which is understandable, I guess. When a villager enters the willing state, they'll consume the required food from their inventory. Beds can be placed within houses or other buildings, which also means if you built the village brand new structures and placed in additional new beds, they will most definitely be of use for villagers to eventually welcome in more population over time. So yes, you can quite literally be the direct force that sees a village expand with a thriving population and economy, when providing jobs that in return only benefit you with plenty more trade offers. And this is an opportunity that I'd really recommend giving a fair shot. It quite literally pays off given the investment of your care and time, including lending some much needed maintenance to newfound villagers as their infrastructure starts off quite appalling. Just ensure you place the village beds at clear locations where the villagers can comfortably access, with at least a 2-block clearance above all beds. Also make sure a door has been placed at the entrance of where they'll be sleeping, not to mention at all buildings without one. This is handy for helping villagers with zombie sieges, which occur at night, spawning large groups of zombies within a village regardless of how well it's been lit. Not to mention the odd zombie or two that attacks a village at night. Even drowned can be seen attacking villages that are near a coast. If a villager is wounded enough by a zombie, they will turn, becoming a zombie villager. So if your village is poorly defended, build up on them stronger defenses and create some iron golems to help guard the populace. Or you could end up with an overrun village of infected townsfolk, and it's quite the task to safely cure an entire village. If a merchant is infected, they'll still maintain their profession and their level, meaning if they're cured, they'll regain all the progress they had before they turned. Baby villagers also can suffer from turning into zombies, though they can run much faster than adults. Although, if these little fellas do turn, that means baby zombie villagers also run very fast. At least they too can be cured. Baby villagers love to play around, often running in and out of houses, jumping on beds, sprinting around town, and sometimes doing so with others so they can play tag. Although the real game of tag begins when a baby zombie chases a baby villager. occasionally baby villagers will decide to stare at iron golems. Being the gentle giants they are, they will sometimes offer a baby villager a poppy, in which a baby villager may cautiously accept from the golem. Come on, this has got to be one of the most adorable things in the entire game, especially when you receive the Hero of the Village status effect and villagers start chucking items at your feet in praise. Baby villagers will throw you their poppies. But the cuteness doesn't last for too long, as they become an adult 20 minutes after they're born. Villagers don't only have the threat of zombie sieges constantly breathing down their throats, but they also may become a victim of raids, led by mobs called illagers. These raids consisting of multiple waves of pillagers, vindicators, witches, evokers, and their beast buddies, ravagers, which are often mounted by an illager during the later waves. The number of waves a raid has is dependent on the version of Minecraft you're playing and the difficulty mode you have set. Successfully helping defend a village from a raid will earn you that sweet, glorious Hero of the Village status effect. When a raid is launched upon a village, at least one villager will attempt to rush and ring the town bell to alarm the other villagers of the incoming threat. While a village is being raided, you can see some villagers emitting water particles as if they're sweating in fear. Despite being scared, however, all merchants are still able to be traded with during a raid. Hey, well, it's good business. Upon villagers seeing illagers, ravagers, or hearing the town bell, all villagers will rush inside to hide inside a structure with a door and at least one bed. In Bedrock Edition, the town bell rings automatically. Speaking of town bells, during the afternoon every day, a town meeting or gatherings are held between villagers. It's during this time where villagers will mingle, share food to others in need, and even gossip. Villagers spreading gossip can inform other villagers of the reputation of us players. Whether they're speaking highly of us or trash talking our ways, they'll use these gatherings among other social openings as an opportunity to quite literally discuss our behaviour, and in quite a bit of detail too, even if we are right in front of them. Minor positive and negative deeds will be occasionally discussed between villagers, while major negative deeds will spread like wildfire among the community. This gossip can directly affect sales prices and popularity with other merchants, so it very much pays to behave around these people. The town bell is also a great place for two willing villagers to find one another, which can sometimes lead them to put on a show for others at the gathering. Willing villagers also offer more experience from trades, and if a villager isn't close enough to hear a bell, come gathering time in the afternoon, they'll go searching for one. If a mob kills a villager, or if a villager somehow finds a way to accidentally seal their own fate, nearby breeding will cease for about 3 minutes or so. I guess they're quite good at moving on rather quickly. On Java Edition, zombie villagers found beneath igloos will always be a cleric, unless you're playing on Bedrock Edition, in which they could spawn with any random profession. Believe it or not, you are actually able to give villagers armor. This is big news for those keen on maximizing the protection of their villagers. Though this armor cannot be physically seen on them, it is indeed very much there and in effect. To give a villager armor, make sure they're right next to a dispenser that's holding the armor you want to give, and simply activate the dispenser. I'll proceed to demonstrate giving this villager a full set of diamond armor and attack them, followed by the poor fella on the left that hasn't been given any armor, to simply show the effects of the villager with armor at work. In case you are wondering, any enchantments on the armor will function just as normal, such as thorns, which will inflict damage back to the enemies that attack the villager. armor that has been given to them will also drop from them upon death. So if you really badly wanted that armor back, you could always commit a cold-blooded murder by taking them far away from a village and nudging them off a cliff, also you can preserve your reputation and collect your armor again. Oh, and if a villager is struck within 4 blocks of lightning, they will become a witch. If that happened to a master level merchant of yours, you'd have my full condolences, as that would suck. Epically. Making this episode almost caused me to pour a bucket of lava into my eyes and cluck around like a chicken, and as much as you'd probably like to see that, the production of this entire project was nowhere near easy. So I would be most grateful for any show of support, truly, as I really hope the effort it took to make this video a reality was worthwhile. So instead of the usual finishing off with a trivia question, since this is a special episode and all, instead how about a question? Not a trivia question, just a regular one. Would you like to see villagers offer some form of quests in the near future, and why? I'd love to hear your thoughts.